If you've seen any videos on this channel, then you know that I love to put my friends through building challenges. Some are easy, some are hard, some push the builders to their limits, some involve complex technical creations with redstone and command blocks, some are big, some are small, but every single time, no matter the video, it's always just me and a bunch of my fellow YouTuber friends. But I bet you didn't know that I also love to give building challenges to you, my YouTube community. You see, I run this community building event over on my Discord server called the Monthly Build Challenge. Each month, I send out a theme and a set of restrictions to my community and have them build whatever they want, as long as it fits within the guidelines. Some months we go big, and people pull through with these crazy mega builds. Other months we go small and really focus in on those fine, intricate details. But regardless of the theme, month after month, the LeonSBU community continues to pull through with some amazing examples of Minecraft building art. Today, I want to show off 10 of the most amazing builds to ever come out of the LeonSBU Monthly Build Challenge. These 10 builds each won in their respective month, and trust me, they were deserving of it. These builds are incredible. The amount of time, skill, dedication, and most importantly, artistic talent these people have put into their Minecraft creations is simply mind-blowing. So I want to give these talented builders the recognition they deserve, and on top of that, I want to extend an invite to you. If you want to join in on these monthly build challenges and put your building skills to the test, learn and grow as a builder from some of the most amazingly talented people in my community, all you gotta do is join my Discord. The link is down in the description. Anyone is welcome to join the monthly build challenge regardless of what platform you play Minecraft on, Java or Bedrock or something else entirely. It's free, the theme changes every month, and every single build is going to be showcased on my live streams. And without further ado, gamers, let's take a look at some amazing builds from the LeonSBU community. First up, we've got this massive build behind me, this whole copper quarry right here. This is by Wimmmble. This is for the October 2025 monthly build challenge. The theme was, of course, copper. As you can see, it's absolutely massive. There's just so much to take in here, right? You've got this giant excavation site with these big machines, grinding away at the stone, pulling the copper out of the earth, loading it onto trucks, then refining it over in this factory over here, which by the way, also looks really, really cool. Inside the factory, you've got all these like pieces of machinery and of course more vehicles, and they're refining the copper, they're processing it into ingots, all sorts of different stuff going on here, and it gets brought on out to this train where you can see it's being loaded up with these copper blocks and some very cute runaway copper golems. And the train heads off on this track to somewhere outside the bounds of the build, of course, but there is just a lot to take in here. It's probably no surprise of why this build won the October build challenge, as I mean, just look at this thing, but in particular, there's one thing I really, really want to highlight here, and that's how it tells a story. You know, it's one thing to have a technically impressive build that uses a lot of different shading techniques and terraforming techniques and has some cool looking organics and whatnot, but on top of doing all that, this build tells a coherent story. You can literally follow the progression of the copper as it gets scraped out of the sides of these cliffs, as these giant machines grind it up, and as it gets loaded onto these trucks over here. You can literally follow exactly where it's going every step of the way. And this just shows to me that, you know, Wimmmble, the creator of this, is not only very technically proficient, but they're going out of their way to tell a cohesive story here. They're following a logical sequence of events, and that's not always something you see in a Minecraft build. A lot of the time, people just focus on making the build, you know, technically impressive. And don't get me wrong, this is very technically impressive as well. Just look at the walls of these barns here. But not only that, it's just so cohesive. You know, everything makes sense. But if we're talking technically impressive, just like, oh my god, look at these tracks, look at these shapes we've got going on here. These vehicles are so impressive. Vehicles are not easy to do in Minecraft, you guys. Neither are custom trees, neither are these sort of rusted out looking industrial buildings, neither are trains and train tracks, but Wimmmble is just nailing every single one here. I mean, just look at the front of this train here. It's really good. Like, blocks I never would have thought to use in a train. You know, pumpkins and bits of coral for the little puffs of smoke. It's very, very clever. My one critique of this build, and of course this is a very, very minor critique because in all other aspects it's just incredible, but I'm a person who is quite familiar with the Axiom mod, and to me, the ore veins in this wall look pretty obviously done with the Axiom shatter tool, but all things considered, it still looks great. It still looks like ore veins. It's just that one kinda sticks out to me as oh yes, telltale sign of Axiom. But all things considered, guys, the build is incredible, and absolutely no surprise here that this won the monthly build challenge for October 2025. This next build is by Oliq for the September 2025 monthly build challenge. The theme here was starter base, and participants had a limited size to make their builds. You know, starter bases, they're never super huge or anything, so we limited people to a 75 by 75 building area. And for this month, there were a lot of really, really great builds, but this, like, maritime lighthouse starter base really, really stuck out to me. I mean, just look at this thing. It's so complete. It's just an incredibly polished build. Like, some of the things I like to look for in a starter base are, you know, it's not too big, it doesn't have too many, you know, ultra elaborate materials, it's walkable, every little bit of it is accessible on foot, because of course in the early game players don't have access to things like Elytra, and I think Oliq's build here just absolutely nails all of them. You've got this beautiful, you know, harbor side, ocean side dock down here with some very creative texturing using the coral blocks and the tuff for a very cool, like, cobblestoney path. You've got these sort of market stalls over here, you've got a dock with this very, very cute little sailboat here. And of course, it's all walkable, all traversable, and from the ground here, you can look up, you can see the beautiful lighthouse through the trees, you can take this pathway up onto the main starter base. Every single square foot of this build has just been meticulously detailed, meticulously polished and refined, and I just think it's gorgeous. I mean, look at these shots here, the lighthouse looming over you, the trees surrounding you, you've got these bits of dead foliage and rocks. It's just, everything is just so well thought out, so much attention to detail here, even with these little cattails and bamboo stalks. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And on top of everything else, we've got some rather creative block choices in here as well. You know, this to me screams Minecraft starter base, but not only does it look really nice with its depth and its texturing, but we've got some really interesting blocks here as well, right? Like the bamboo hanging signs, the scaffolding, the use of netherrack, and these awesome kind of pale red blocks here, the black stone walls with the dark oak blending together pretty well. All the individual trees using a really wide variety of leaves to get that sort of dark to light gradient. I absolutely love that trick, and Oliq has nailed it on every single tree here. So all in all, like, the block choices, the texturing is just immaculate. But what I arguably love most about this entire build is that if we go ahead and set the time to night, the lighthouse just really lights up and becomes the central focal point of the build. These cool, like, glass streaks and stuff, you know, while they were visible during the day, at night the light from these frog lights really, really shine through, and it just becomes such a a literal beacon, showing off, you know, the location of this base in what would otherwise be, you know, this vast ocean. And yeah, I just think it's absolutely gorgeous at night. It's gorgeous during the day as well, but at night, I mean, come on, look at this thing. Now, if you couldn't tell by the very, very elaborate designs on the wall behind me, this build challenge was quite a bit more abstract. So the theme was food, and this first place submission was by Forshock, who created this awesome looking cornucopia model down behind me there. Now, all people were given was the one word food, and as you can see, it's a very large build. There wasn't a size limit or anything, and Forshock just did a fantastic job with making this thing just look good. Like, for how abstract of a build it is, right? We're in this giant gray box with these really, really wacky, intricate designs on the walls. You've got this island jutting out the side. To be honest, I'm not even really sure why that's there. But of course, the main focus of the build is this cornucopia on this plate. And you know, the texturing here, some things that you might not even really think about at first glance, is just really, really good. Like, look at this checkerboard pattern on this table. At first glance, you think it's just white and red, but they've gone out of their way to do this texturing with the square within a square here, right? The calcite and the red terracotta forming the inner sections, and then you've got light and dark strips around the outside. Like, it creates this sort of fake illusion of depth, of a little bit more to it than just, you know, two basic colors, and it looks really good from a distance. This entire build is meant to be viewed from a distance, so, you know, you may not notice these individual things until you get up really close. Like, I bet you didn't notice that there was copper and bee nests inside this cornucopia, or that the plate design has wool and calcite in the middle here. Like, all these little details very much just blend together at a distance, but they're not lost, right? They all contribute to something. Just the presentation of this, the fact that you can really pick out all the individual little fruits that are represented here, right? With the pears and the grapes and the little mini pumpkins and oranges and everything. Like, it's all just kind of assembled really, really nicely. On top of the fact that you've got a cute little interior on the inside. Like, look at this, look at that spinny thing. I don't know how this happened, but it's really, really cool. It's a lovely little detail on top of everything else this build has going for it. It's a comfy little bedroom, you know? I'd love to live here. I'd love to live inside a giant pear, I think. Not to mention these custom trees on this little outcropping up here, and this little fella. Hi. Yeah, these custom trees are great. They're doing a very similar dark to light texturing thing I was just talking about with the copper build challenge. They've got these really awesome shapes. And, you know, this whole island is maybe a little bit out of place, but what it does serve, and as you can kind of see here with the spyglass, it serves as a really good lookout point to lower your FOV a little bit and get a really nice shot of the entire build, and I think that is very, very creative. Building organics on a small scale, especially food of all things, is not easy, and you can really, really tell exactly what all these different fruits are, which I think is great. And yes, I know, this penguin loves fruits. Am I a little biased? Maybe. But the dude still won the monthly build challenge anyways. This build is still fantastic. Forshock, you did a great job here, and I just really, really think this build is awesome. Now, this next build is immense. This was made by two people, as you can see with the folks behind me here. We've got RT and Arya Weavern, and this is part of the Maritime Monthly Build Challenge. Participants were given 2 months to work on this one. 2 whole months and no size limit. So as you can imagine, some people went a little crazy, but I don't think you're ready for just how crazy these two went. Let's start with the interior. You know, you spawn in this beautiful, like, almost Mediterranean style mansion on the coastline. You've got all these details, all these intricacies here, lots of color. Already a very, very cool build on its own. I mean, you've got this kitchen, you've got this dining room, all really, really well done. Like, I was already very impressed just seeing the interior by itself. But then you go out this door, and everything changes. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're not even close to done. I gotta let this whole thing render in, you guys. This is the original villa right here, by the way. This behind me. That's everything we've seen so far. And then you've got this. And you've got this whole island back here. And you've got this entire coastal city right here with these beautiful colors and this castle up there. You've got this whole armada of ships attacking some sort of like statue kraken creature over here. This entire naval battle. By the way, I'm at 32 render distance and I can barely get like a quarter of this build within my field of view. It's just absolutely colossal. You've got, I mean, look at this. Look at this. The other side of the build is a complete other build on its own. Like, what? I get you had 2 months, but this is ridiculous. What? How? This is, to this day, one of, if not the most jaw-droppingly incredible monthly build challenge submissions I have ever received. And let me tell you, I will be the first to say, I am incredibly honored to have a community with people as talented and skilled that can do this. And I get that 2 of them worked on this together, and they had 2 months to do it, but still, the sheer size and intricacy of this entire place. You could spend months in here, wandering every single house, checking out every single nook and cranny, and everything is detailed, like down to the smallest little market stall or bazaar, every single little pathway on this harbor, every single ship having a slightly different design and details and orientation. I wish I had enough time in this video to properly show off the sheer scale of this place. I mean, really, this could be an entire hour-long video on its own, just exploring this one build. So, RT and Arya, you two are incredible, and like I said during the NBC livestream, I really do hope you guys can put your building talents to good use. Like, go get paid for this. I'm serious. It's insane. It's insane. Now, the next build I want to take a look at here is from the April 2025 monthly build challenge. The theme was floral, and this amazing deer statue behind me was made by Tryll. And right off the bat, I'm pretty sure we can tell why this build won. I mean, look at this thing. The shape of this organic is just absolutely incredible. The amount of textures going into this deer statue are really impressive. You got some more like fantasy, mythological elements with this crazy looking thing with the dark oak back here. You've got its 2 front legs made right with pale oak and glass of all things. And of course, you've got this upper body here with these beautiful, lush, like green, fantasy-esque antlers, and it's just really cool looking. The shape is gorgeous. It's as far as I can tell, actually surprisingly survival friendly considering what it is. And that's actually what I find really interesting about this build. Like, obviously it's very well done. We've got all these beautiful plants. You've got these, dandelions and mushrooms and flowers, all sorts of different organics going on in this very small space. But what I really want to highlight here is the fact that this entire build, as far as I'm aware, is virtually all survival friendly. And it doesn't seem like it, because oftentimes when you see builds like this, especially these smaller, very detail heavy builds, they're usually using a bunch of illegal block techniques. And there's nothing wrong with that. I, for one, love using illegal block techniques, but of course, it's just not something a lot of Minecraft builders can access. Whether you're a Bedrock player or you don't have the technical expertise to, really get into the nitty-gritty with Axiom and the debug stick and block update suppression and everything, the really illegal Minecraft builds are cool, don't get me wrong, but they can also kind of alienate a large portion of the Minecraft community. So all the more reason to give props and to highlight this build here, because Tryll has created something that's just absolutely jam-packed with life and detail. I mean, look at these birds. Look at these stupid birds. They're so funny. Yeah, just look at it. Like, it's really full of so much intricacy, yet there's virtually no illegal block techniques. Even these coral blocks are sitting on slabs, which I believe are waterlogged, which actually prevents the coral from turning gray. You can take a walk through here and just appreciate all the different little bits of scenery and foliage, and just remember that you can build this too in survival Minecraft. It's genuinely incredible. And I touched upon this just now, but like, the fact that there's so many different kinds of organics here, Tryll could have easily copy-pasted the same, 3 or 4 organics over and over again. But no, you've got so many different varieties of flowers. You've got this like green and blue droopy one. You've got these beautiful dark red ones right here with the stalks in the middle. You've got some more mushrooms and tulip petals. You've got dandelions. You've got all these different kinds of flowers and mushrooms and foliage and whatnot. It's just so incredibly bright and vibrant and creative, and it's packed into a frankly quite small space. If I remember correctly, the build size limit for this challenge was 50 by 50, so not a lot of space to work with here. I don't know if you guys have ever tried doing some sort of, animal statue like this. I tried doing it once. A whole of one time. I tried to make a giant skeleton of some sort of penguin creature, and yeah, it didn't turn out nearly as well as this. Let's just say that. This right here, this shape behind me, is just impressive. It's just really impressive. What can I say? Now, I know we literally just talked about the virtues of building in a survival-friendly way, but on the other hand, when you can tastefully use, things like display entities and custom models in a way that augments the base vanilla game while still feeling like Minecraft is a skill in of itself. And for this submission behind me here, the March 2025 Monthly Build Challenge TV/movie set made by Maverly and Adi, this one does that incredibly well. The entire thing is contained inside this box, as you can see behind me. Very movie set coded in a way, right? Everything's a display, everything's two-dimensional. But despite that, if we go and approach this from the ground level, you will immediately see so many little tricks, so many little custom models and designs, and these aren't imported in from like some other game or asset library. That's not something we allow here in the Monthly Build Challenge. We don't allow data packs, we don't allow mods. Every single custom model you're about to see here is entirely made with display entities and just using what's available in vanilla Minecraft, which makes it all the more impressive that you can make things like this video camera, this awesome bubbling vat of slime with potion bottles next to it, these giant movie set lights up at the top here with the flaps and everything angled at these crazy angles. And if we go behind the houses, oh boy, the detail doesn't stop here. Behind each one of these houses is a whole other build unto itself, right? Like it's of course, behind the scenes, it's got these green screens and fake walls and whatnot, but they've done it in such a tasteful way where it's still so chock full of detail. Like, look at this shelf. Almost none of this is actual Minecraft blocks. Like, this is all basically display entities, but it looks so good. It's so well done, and not to mention the amount of time it takes to properly position and orient all these display entities. Like look at this stuff. It just doesn't end. You keep going through here, there's just more and more of it. It's just incredibly impressive, the attention to detail here. And not to detract from the build itself, right? Like, this custom pale oak tree is pretty awesome. The way that the movie set background is set up with these like two-dimensional clouds and bits of glass to provide some texture are really cool. The actual individual house builds are nice as well, like lots of different colors and textures overlapping on each other here. But if you ask me, the real highlight of this entire thing is just how they were able to really push the limits of what building in Minecraft is. Whether it's this murky, like swampy pond with the very meticulously placed frog lights and lily pads and everything, this city street, slowly corrupting and being taken over by whatever sort of gray, diseased fungus is overtaking the city, or just all these little details behind the scenes like we were just looking at, all these video cameras and everything else going on back here, all contained within, frankly, a not very large space. I mean, this right there, I think that's 50 by 50 if I remember correctly. It's not a lot of space to work with, but they've managed to cram so many little secrets, so much little bits of life and detail back here. It's just a really impressive, very highly polished build. Oh, and it was their first MBC submission. Like seriously, guys, you cooked here, you cooked. That's a really nice boat behind me, isn't it? Well, the actual build is really nice too. This is for the January and February monthly build challenge of 2025. The theme was theme park, and we've got ourselves another Wimmmble build here. If you couldn't tell by the luxury yacht and the beautiful coral reef underneath me, this one's got a distinctly tropical theme. So without further ado, folks, this here is the Magma Resort. So like I said, the theme was theme park. And yes, this is a fully fleshed out resort. I mean, look at this thing. You've got rides, you've got pathways, you've got all these walkways crisscrossing the entire thing. You've got huts, you've got a beach, you've got an ocean, you've got a ship, you've got everything here. It's a really expansive, really impressive build. And much like Wimmble's other build, the copper quarry from earlier in the video, things just fit together really nicely here. know, it tells a coherent story. You can follow all these various pathways throughout the island, and there's so much to see, right? We unfortunately don't have the time to walk across this entire thing on foot, but you can. You can traverse this entire place, see every single ride, find every little nook and cranny, and it's not just rides as well. You've got this whole section over here with huts and restaurants and shops, once again, immaculately detailed with not only, detail blocks, but display entities as well. You got some custom heads for like fruits and whatnot. Really, really clever. So, I mean, look at that. It's a stack of melon slices on a player head. That's awesome. All these little shops in here. It just goes to show you that you can have a really large, really massive build with some broad strokes, like these big rocks and big palm trees and big rides and everything. And you can still have just an insane amount of detail. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it's very, very time consuming, but when you can pull it off, it makes your build all that much more impressive. Now, admittedly, I am a bit of a sucker for tropical paradise themes, these kind of islandy builds, so I may be a little bit biased here, but I think we can all agree that this build is just incredibly, incredibly impressive. The rides actually look and feel like real, resort or amusement park rides, right? They're all supported, they've got supports, everything's got the correct kind of weight to it, nothing really feels floating, and that's the mark of a really good builder. It's one thing to create a scene with, a lot of technical details and cool gradients like this volcano here, but it's another thing to really make it all feel properly weighted and alive. Like this is something that could actually exist in real life. Obviously, that goes out the window a little bit for, very obviously fantasy builds, that are not trying to adhere to realism, but you can have something like this where, yeah, it's maybe a little bit larger than life, but everything just still feels grounded. And the details aren't forgotten here. Like I was saying before, all the custom heads, these funny little like inflatable floaties and stuff, the beach umbrellas, it's just all really, really well done. It should come as no surprise by this point that Wimmmble is quite the talented builder, and this is actually not even the last we're going to be seeing of them in this video, but we'll get there in a minute. For now, let's just appreciate this beautiful tropical magma resort. For this next monthly build challenge submission, the theme being Gingerbread House by Epic Mike, you spawn inside this nice little modest shack here, right? You got a little snowman, you got a couple candy canes, you got this cute little shack right here, and you might think at first glance that that's all this person did. And fair enough, it's a nice enough build, but then you turn the corner and you see this. Yeah, look at this giant thing behind me here. We got like a gingerbread man atlas holding up a giant gingerbread house right up here with this beautiful pink and purple and blue smoke cloud coming out the top of it. Very reminiscent of the house from Up, but I don't think there's quite the same vibe here. This is a bit of a silly one, right? Like gingerbread house was the theme. It's gonna be a little cutesy, a little silly, but Epic Mike absolutely knocked it out of the park with these vibes. Like, look how gorgeous and colorful this is, right? You've got these beautiful stained glass windows with these gorgeous rainbow colors. You've got the candy cane motifs and designs everywhere. This entire house just has such an awesome shape to it. Like, it still feels like a gingerbread house, right? It's very brown, it's very chocolatey, but it's still so detailed and textured, Like, when I think gingerbread house, I think of something relatively simple, both in shape and in color, and this is neither of those. This is complex, this is elaborate, this is full of little details. And if I remember correctly, we've got an interior as well. Yes, we do. It's not totally finished, but still, the fact that they went out of their way to, properly put in some windows and put in a staircase and everything just goes to show you how much love and attention to detail went into this project. But of course, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, which is this giant statue of a guy here, right? It's literally Gingerbread Man Atlas, which I think is hilarious. You've got this crazy looking face on the bottom, you've got the buttons, everything is just very well proportioned. Like, similar with Tryll's deer statue from a little earlier in the video. Like, you don't see these kinds of really well proportioned builds that often because they're difficult. Trying to make a full statue of a person or an animal like this is hard. It's really hard in a game that's all about cubes. Like, they've really done the organic shapes and the curves very very well here. The lighting is nice as well, especially looking at this at night, right? The place really glows like against this rather, dull background. Like the person glows, the island glows, the house glows, and not to mention this awesome chocolate waterfall going off the side. I love the way the water like splits and kind of, disintegrates towards the end here. It's very, very nicely done. Very realistic as well. I just remember being incredibly impressed with this front facade in particular. Like, all of this is very well done, don't get me wrong, but the front facade here is really, to me, the highlight. You've got these stars, you've got this garland on the front. It's just really cute. Now for this next build, we've got yet another Wimmmble build. This guy has just been absolutely killing it with the monthly build challenges. This month's theme was solarpunk, and if we look behind me here, we've got this incredible looking city. I mean, everything about this just screams solarpunk, right? Like the massive amounts of greenery around here, the solar panels all angled at different angles in this sort of like solar farm field thing, the cluster of tall buildings with all these really intricate like little details and pipes and wires and texturing and everything, the custom trees, the fields of flowers. It's all just really, really well done. It's not even just this central part. There's so much little detail around the outsides as well. We've even got a couple vehicles in here. We've got a couple planes, which once again, similar with the copper quarry from earlier in the video, very hard to do these kinds of vehicles, especially at a small scale, but Wimmmble has totally nailed it here. The illegal chain being the propeller on the front, that's awesome. That's really cool. There's a lot of different things to love about this build, but what I love most, in my opinion, is the fact that they nailed both the large scale and the small scale, right? We've seen the large scale, all these different hills and rivers and mountains and valleys here with all this really nice texturing and the trees looking really good, and they've clearly nailed the terrain. But if you actually go dive into the heart of this city, you're gonna see that every little nook and cranny has a little detail. The streets may be a little rough and jagged, sure, but if we go ahead and just kind of peruse around here, you can see everything is so intricate. Everything is so fine-tuned to be just exactly the way they wanted it to be. Every little windowsill, every little wire, every little pathway up at the top there, like just standing in the middle here and looking up is such a cool view. I mean, look at this. This is so solarpunk. They've clearly nailed both the large scale and the small scale very, very well here. And that's, to me, what is the most impressive thing about this entire build. Not to mention the color schemes, right? You've got this really nice darker to lighter gradient on all of the buildings, making them seem a little bit more tall and imposing than they actually are. Of course, you've got the awesome gradient of all the different stone blocks on the mountain sides. You've got these really cool electrical wires. By the way, look at this lever trick. That's really sick. I gotta steal that. These electrical posts and wires actually going through the river up and around the side of the city here towards the solar farm, which is really, really neat. Everything's interconnected. Everything just kind of makes sense, between the old school ship in the water here and the very, very like sci-fi technology with this like floating drone and whatnot over here, and of course the solar panels. Wimmmble is clearly a great builder. If you couldn't tell by the 3 monthly build challenges that they managed to win in the past year, yeah, no, Wimmble's doing a great job here. So honestly, huge props to Wimmmble for being a fantastic builder. Always a great time checking out their builds. Anyone that can make a view from the top or from the bottom that's this intricate and layered and complex without feeling noisy, without feeling like, block vomit, overwhelming, they're a good builder. They're a good builder. And last but definitely not least, a very, very unique build by CaseGold. This is for the D&D themed monthly build challenge, and they made something very, very special here. If I go ahead and turn around, I think you'll be able to tell exactly what's going on here. This, my friends, is a perspective build. You don't see these very often on the monthly build challenges, but when you come across one, oh my gosh, they are very, very special. I mean, just look at this. If I go ahead and turn on F1 mode here, hide my HUD, look how cool this is when I just like kind of slide back and forth here, create that parallax effect with the trees. Now, in terms of where the source material is from for this build, I'm not sure. It's probably just a D&D campaign they've been a part of, but looking at the build itself, I mean, you've got some sort of weird blight or sickness taking over this forest, taking over these huge tracts of land here. You've got this giant polluting factory in the distance, probably causing whatever is taking over this pristine natural forest, and we've got this really, really cool effect going on with the glass back there, and the moon behind it. Like, we're clearly in nighttime for a reason. Like, this build definitely looks best at night when this building is able to be more of a silhouette, and those fog effects are able to be a little bit more transparent. It looks really, really cool. Not to mention the other parts of this build that are really well done as well, like the normal non-corrupted forest. Like, it looks really good. If we go ahead and look down from the ground level, this is a really nice custom forest. You've got all this like illegal foliage and stuff. You've got a combination of mangrove wood and green terracotta, which, to be honest, I never would have thought to use this color combo. It's a really, really unique idea for a forest floor. And of course, you got all these really good looking custom spruce trees that are nice and tall and just look really, really great. And there's even a cute little cabin if we go ahead and run in this direction. Or I guess not a cabin, more of a tent, but you've got a certain fella right here. You've got this lonely little outpost right here. The Royal Investigators, by the look of it, maybe they're here to investigate this mysterious corruption overtaking the forest. But yeah, like, look at this. This is a really well done tent and like an extinguished campfire with the little puffs of smoke coming out of the bottom. That's a really, really nice detail as well. And then of course you move on to the main subject of the build, which is this giant factory back here, completely covered in these blighted dead trees and foliage using the dead coral blocks. Very, very illegal, of course, but still really, really cool looking with the polished deep slate, the iron bars, and the core blocks make for a really good looking custom tree. Not to mention the texturing and the gradienting on the sides of this factory really, really seals the deal and just making it look menacing and industrial and all that. I love the smoke coming off the sides here. It's a really cool effect. And sure, from the back, it's, you know, not very finished, maybe minus the whatever's going on here, but it's still a really, really cool build from the front. And like I said, it's a perspective build, so at the end of the day, you're only really meant to view this from one angle. CaseGold has done a fantastic job here. Really, really unique build, and I just remember being a huge fan of this from the moment I saw it during my monthly build challenge livestream. Wow. Just wow. You see what I mean when I say that these people are so freaking talented. As always, huge thank you to all my supporters here on YouTube, as well as my Patreon patrons. You guys are helping me pursue my dream of being a full-time content creator, and for that, I am so, so grateful. If you'd like to support me here on YouTube or over on Patreon, my links are down in the description. But that's all for today, you guys. Until next time, this has been Leon, and I'll see you all in the next Minecraft video.